That's why Lagos is so appealing to a hairstylist or a makeup artist or a creative, because there's so many things to do. People are always going out. Weddings are always happening. There's a lot of beautiful Instagrammy restaurants, cute little places to go vacation. So people want to look good. Even if it's just to go out to eat. Like you see girls with their 30-inch wigs and stuff like that. So I'm like, I need to tap into that. So that's what I'm working on right now.
These Lagos babes are prepared.
I came here, I was like, okay, let me
step
myself
it
together.
up.
Like,
yeah, I swear. Like, you know, I feel like in America, I can kind of get away more with like a just wash my face, throw on some gym clothes, running to the grocery store, throw on some Uggs, buy it.
Yeah.
And here it's like people will really look at you like you're not okay.
Yeah, like what?
Or like she's not well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll look at you like, why are you dressing like this? Like
she couldn't take the time to like, and you're like, oh,
yeah. I remember I went to this one restaurant in VI called Cactus, and just went with some friends. It was chill. Like after church, like we was looking all right. But girl, it was like these 5 girls. They was looking slid to the gods, as some people say. Long hair. So one of my friends was like, see slay queens of Lagos. I said, yes, that's how it is. Like,
yeah, then you start like, hold on now, let me put a little powder on.
But I love it though, because listen, I love to dress. Like me, my sister,
it brings you out.
It just makes you, so it's nice to see. So what I'm really trying to do now, I was even just saying this last week, I was like, I need to just kind of just do some guerrilla marketing where I'm just giving out cards and people know like, hey, I just relocated. I'm not even gonna say I just relocated here, but I'm based here and in the US.
Yeah.
Make good wigs, come get your wigs, all that, because they like that kind of stuff.
I love that. Okay, Wig City up in here, child.
So these are my most recent collection. They're just kind of in storage right now. This is
I'm loving this one.
So she's like a curly wig, but she has like balayage blonde highlights.
Yes, this looks like a nice wash and go.
Yes. So right now it's washed and then like it was air dried. But if you want a wetter, sleeker look, you can just like wet it and then just keep it like that without spreading it out. And this is kind of like if you're someone who doesn't want that blonde effect. This is the Tina. So the Tanya, the Tina.
Okay.
I name all my wigs because
twins.
It's easier to remember. Yes, exactly.
Twinsies, a little different though.
Yeah, it's a little different. This one hasn't been curled. I just colored it and then I
love
washed it.
this one. So you colored this on your own?
Yes. Yeah, all these are custom colored. This is the Gia.
Dang, girl, you colored all of these?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is the Gia. This is what the Gia looks like when I curl it and hand curl it. The color is slightly different. This one's a little deeper.
Yeah, this one's a little like cherry coat.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this one's like a more
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, there you go. And then this one is the Marilyn. Just because it's short and it has like a honey blonde.
Yeah.
Kind of like Marilyn Monroe, but it's sleek.
I'm peeping this one. Like I'm just loving even the back of this one.
Yes, this one's my sleek Tiwa. Like Tiwa Savage, because she has this cute album.
Like, okay, Tiwa girl.
Yes.
This feels really good.
Yeah, so the hair is made with double drawn Vietnamese hair. These are my longer for my Lego sleigh babes.
What I'm loving is it's like full throughout.
Very full.
Throughout, like it's not like thinning as you go down, which a lot of long wigs do.
Mm-hmm. And you don't want that. You want something good. So this is the Ola, and this is the Ola as well. This is the Lola. I can't remember this name, but they're all on my website. But yes, this one has a little bit of a color to it. It's subtle, but it still makes a statement.
Okay, and you would hand make these.
Yes, ma'am.
So people, how long would that kind of take? So if I came on your website, saw the Jessica Rabbit, wanted it, how long would it take?
If it's already in stock, you could get it immediately. Processing is like a day, depending on business hours and things like that. But if you wanted something and maybe someone might have brought it, I have hair in stock. They would be within 2-3 days. I generally have like a window of time that would be able to accommodate all those things. So usually the longest you have to wait is like 4 days.
That's not bad at all, especially for something custom.
Yeah. Now this is for within Lagos. International takes a little longer. International is like 7 days just because of DHL customs and things like that.
But like Abuja would be kind of quick too.
Abuja
you could always
send. Yeah, Lagos Abuja would be like 2-3 days or something like that.
Yeah. What is up, you guys? Good morning and hello from Lagos. I am here today with a babe who I've been watching for a while on IG. I think I found you during my whole like international teacher vibe because you as well are an international teacher.
Yep.
So I was like, oh my God, look at this fine babe. Like, let me follow. She's doing this, she's doing that. She's living life in Nigeria. And you've been on that vibe for a while, but you're not like just an international teacher. You are here in Nigeria doing a lot of different things. You have repatted almost, right? So we're just gonna kind of get into all of that today, you guys. I've been having so much fun. So I met up with her a couple nights ago, but I didn't like do too much recording because we were just vibing and like, it has just been like a great time. Lagos is a good city.
Love Lagos.
You know, a lot of teachers are like, a lot of international teachers are like, oh, I want to move eventually and like go to different places. But like, I feel like you're not really in a rush to leave Lagos.
No, not at all. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, one, I'm Nigerian. So I'm first generation Nigerian American. Grew up in America, but I've been coming to Nigeria since I was like 1 year old. I spent my first birthday here. Every other year on average, we were spending months at a time in Nigeria. So Nigeria's home for me, even though I spent most of my life abroad. So for me, even though I'm an international teacher, I'm not someone that's so interested in jumping from country to country to work, because I really want to use this time to really establish something here.
Yeah.
So that if anything, I'm just back and forth between Nigeria and the States, if I decide that the States is where else I want to still be based. So of course, on the breaks and stuff, I still travel around, but like where I want to be is Lagos, Nigeria.
I love that. Let's get into you were born in the United States, but your parents sent you back so often. So did they come with you during these trips, or did they kind of like send you for yourself?
As a child, yes. I didn't come to Nigeria for the first time alone until 2015. Prior to that, I was either coming with my mom and dad, my mom. I was never alone. So when I was 1, the entire family came. We celebrated my birthday. We stayed there for some time. Ever since then, when I was a little girl, I've always been coming with family. So it was a very different experience when I was younger coming as a child, because my family's from Ekiti, Nigeria, which is in the southeast of Nigeria. And
not the coast, kind of like towards...
It's towards the south. Yes,
okay.
Yes. And let me make sure I'm correct. It's the southeast, but yes, southeast. So it's in the south. So it's very different from Lagos. So we would come to Lagos because we have family here as well too, but then we would always end up in Ekiti State visiting family, just going there because that's like our origin. But it wasn't until I got older, when I was coming in 2015, I would come to Lagos and I really was like, wow, like this is somewhere that I can see myself living. Like the vibe is different. Like Ekiti is cool, but it's very calm, and that's somewhere you settle, very homely. Whereas me, I'm a city girl. No matter where in the world I am, I want to be somewhere it's a little bit more fast paced, because I just like that vibe, So for me, coming to Lagos in 2015 was an opportunity for me to finally decide on wanting to come back here. And then I kind of just took those steps to make a life here. So that's pretty much what's been happening.
What took your parents, what did your parents do in the States that kind of kept them here? Because if you're coming home, a lot of people I know don't even come home that often, or make a effort to like have their kids really immersed back in that home culture. Like what gave them kind of that flexibility? Because I know a lot of people get caught up in that American work schedule.
Well, for one, my parents came to America from Nigeria educated already. So both of my parents are professionals. My dad, when he was alive, he just recently passed away. He was an accountant. He was, thank you. He was an accountant, and he also had his own business. So he was working with money and things of that nature. And my mom, she still works in sales and auditing, and she was a teacher when she was here in Nigeria. But she came to America. She was like, I'm not teaching those kids because I don't want to get arrested.
And it still holds true. Look at that.
Yeah. So I always say that I get like my entrepreneurial spirit from my dad, and a little bit from my mom too, because my mom has some other businesses as well too, and then my teaching spirit from my mom. And then my mom, she wasn't a hairstylist, but she was always the one doing our hair growing up, so she would do my hair. So they were very comfortable. Like, my parents were working class professionals. My dad had his business. He was also working his 9 to 5. My mom had her job. She was also doing another side hustle as well as working part-time. So they were able to afford taking us consistently throughout the years of our childhood lives. And then also my parents were very big on making sure that even though we weren't in Nigeria, we still had the culture instilled in us. So they always made sure, like, no matter where you live, no matter where you are, don't forget your roots. And you can't expect us to know our roots if we're not going to Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't be like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, and then you have nothing to reference it. So I've always grown up being very grounded in my Nigerian culture, being very proud of my Nigerian culture, even though people be crazy, saying types of stuff like, oh, you didn't see that. But that was never my thing. Like my parents instilled a pride. And in Nigeria and America, we have a lot of family. So when I was in America, we had a very big tribe. We still have that tribe. So I never felt alone and disconnected with my pride. Like there was always someone who shared that same kind of pride. Like, you know, so I never felt alone in that. So I was always able to feel connected no matter where I was. And they made sure that they did that. So I'm grateful for that too, because now as an adult, like, you know, being here, it just feels so natural to me.
You're not really like, oh, I'm finding my roots again. You're like,
yeah, no, girl. It's just kind of like I'm coming back.
Yeah,
you know? And even when people see me, like, you know, the security in my estate, the people in my school who have lived in Nigeria, they're just like, oh, I'm so glad that you come back. Like, it's prideful for them. Of course, Nigeria is not a perfect place. Like, there's a lot of infrastructure issues, corruption. You know, we're not going to spend the entire interview getting into that. But, you know, so it would make people want to leave. But to see that there's someone who's willing to come back, yeah, they're shocked, but there's also a sense of pride because it's just like, wow, like, you know, you see value in us coming back to Nigeria. This place.
Yeah.
So
people ask me that all the time, like, wait, you're moving to Nigeria? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, yeah.
Because Nigeria's a vibe. Like, and I think we're different in the sense that I'm assuming that you've traveled a lot growing up. I don't really know. But I think that also helps. When you leave the country, you understand that there is more to life than living in America. Of course, America has great structures and things, but America also is not perfect as well, too. The average American is in debt, thousands of dollars in debt. People are always working, whereas people are working here, too. But I feel like there's a different sense of joy here. Like, there's joy in the midst of the storm all the time. People just, like, find joy in the little things. The sense of community is what I like the best about Nigeria because, like, I don't know if it has something to do with like this sharing of struggle. I don't really know, but I find that there's like a really big sense of community here that has allowed me to feel really grounded. You know, I've made some really close, intimate relationships in the 2 years that I've been here. Yeah. You know,
you seem very well like networked, like supported. There's a camaraderie,
and I really like that. There's a camaraderie amongst Nigerians, and I think that's what other races enjoy as well too. You know, whether you're white, you're Lebanese, you're Asian, because where I am in particular in Lagos is very diverse in terms of like there's a I would say moderate expat population, and they're mixed with all types of cultures and things like that. So, you know, they feel very grounded as well too. It's funny, whenever I go to the market, I hear like, you know, different people, whether they're Lebanese or Asian, speaking Pidgin and little Yoruba, and I'm like, okay, look at you, like blending in. So it's nice to see that they blend in. And there's people who have been here for generations that like I always joke around and say are more Nigerian than me, technically speaking, because they've lived here, they've schooled here, they've grown up here, but you know, racially they look like something else. But it's interesting. So
I've had to like reprogram my mind, and this is something I've been working through, and y'all see me transitioning through on this channel because it took me a while. So the whole point of Pan-Africanism for African Americans is like coming back because we've been stolen, like those people messed it up for us, like we should have been here. So like a part of my repatriate experience of coming back here and then being in spaces where there are like those people around has been like kind of confusing for me. I've had to learn that like, okay, not all, also the many grew up here and are like generations of, and like looking almost, this sounds awful, but almost like looking at non-Black Africans as Africans in African spaces, and like having to like retrain my mind and thinking like these are Africans as well, because there is like a very heavy Lebanese population here that is very much Nigerian, you know? But like in my mind, it's taken me a while to like process that, especially as like a person coming in, like not as grounded in being Nigerian, but like also an outsider myself, you know? So it's kind of different. You do live in like a very expatriate like kind of area here, right?
So there are a lot of, I would say like the concentration of expats is in this particular area, but there are still a lot of people who are very Nigerian that live in these spaces as well too. Victoria Island is a very businessy district. The island itself is a very businessy district, but Victoria Island is like the heart of that. Just to kind of make a comparison, if you've ever lived in the US, Manhattan is like, where there's like a lot of business.
Yeah.
People don't
the Wall Street
live
vibe.
there. Yeah. So where I am,
yeah,
that's kind of where that is. But then when you go a little bit further out to like the Brooklyns or the Bronxes or things like that, that's still the island, right? But it's a little bit further out because, there's places that people need to live. Like Ikoyi would probably be like the upper echelon Queens, not Queens, maybe Brooklyn or
Soho.
Something. There you go, Soho, perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different things, but yes, if you wanted to find like where the expats are, generally they are in this area, the island, I would say, working more so in Victoria Island because that's where the business is and things like that. And that's kind of like what I hope to do as well too when I establish a brick and mortar, is to have something on the island because that's kind of where everyone goes. No matter where you live, people come here. It's kind of like in the States as well too with Manhattan. No matter where people live, Manhattan is kind of where people want to go for the vibes, the good food,
and even like visitors. Where
exactly.
visitors come, touchdown, bam, they're there, like naturally.
Yeah.
So when you applied, was your eye on your school? Like, were you looking for that position to open up, or like, did it come to you? Okay, so
I always tell people this. I feel like it was nothing but God because, like, again, I'll go a little bit back about how I always wanted to move here. In 2015, I applied for a pageant. I competed in a pageant, and we could talk more about that later. Miss Nigeria USA, and I placed second runner-up, and then ended up being first runner-up for a number of different reasons. So it was when I visited during that time as Miss Nigeria USA's first runner-up that I was like, I really want to live here. Like, I love being in Lagos. I just feel so connected. And I didn't actively start to try to come here until probably like 2020 when the pandemic happened. One of my friends from college, she also works with me as well too, and she's been teaching abroad her entire teaching career. She's never taught in the States. She only schooled in the States, and then once she got her degree, she left. So she kind of opened my eyes to this international world because prior to that, I had no idea of this international world. I didn't really understand what it was. I thought it was just like me teaching kids who don't know English. But in fact, one, these kids are in a very privileged space, so they just want to be able to have a consistent standard no matter where they go. So me coming here was me taking the steps to make sure that I had something here. So I was just looking around. I really wanted to be at this particular school because it was in an ideal location. It would allow me to be able to start businesses. It was just a number of different things. But my biggest thing was to make sure that I was in Nigeria. I considered Abuja as well too. Like, Abuja's cool, but I just felt like it just wasn't my vibe in terms of what I wanted to do business-wise. So I just knew that, okay, if I'm going to live in Nigeria, I need to make sure that I'm in Lagos. Like, anywhere in Lagos, but this particular place would be ideal. So everything just ended up working out. I applied. There were no openings. And then up until...
How long did you apply with no
Probably
success?
about like a year. I didn't really spend too much time because, again, it was during the pandemic. I moved here in 2021.
Okay.
So when the pandemic was going on, I'd probably say like pre-pandemic, like right before, like December 19, kind of when I was at my school in the States, and I was like, I'm not coming back here next year. Like, I can't. This is ghetto. Like, I'm tired.
What grade
like,
were you teaching?
Middle school at a Title I school.
Oh.
For any
middle schools are ghetto as hell.
Yeah, so
they are the worst.
They have
honestly.
a soft spot. Like, I like them now, but depending on where you are, if you're at a Title I school, the population is very challenging because they have a lot of stuff they're dealing with.
Middle schoolers need a lot of foundational things at home, and if they're not getting it, it becomes unhinged.
Yes.
Because they're so hormonally off. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, but where I am now, at my school now, like the middle schoolers, they're still very hyperactive and things, but they're a lot more mature than the middle schoolers that I'm used to, and I think that has a lot to do with, their socioeconomic status, culture, different things like that. A lot of these kids are very well cultured, so they've seen a lot of things that your average middle school has not seen that impacts their maturity. Yeah, they're still childish, right? But you can have a little bit more mature conversations with them, whereas the average conversation with a middle schooler might be like, oh, do you play Roblox or something like that? So so I was applying, doing those things. I applied to a couple of schools in different parts of Nigeria, no luck. And then my friend reached out to me letting me know that the position that I would have qualified for had opened up. And I just felt in my spirit, I'm like, this is the job I'm playing for. Because prior to that, I've been praying about it. I'm like, God, I'm tired of being in the States. Like, I love being in the States, but I want to set up shop here. So one thing led to another. I applied. They interviewed me. I went through my first round of interviews, my second round of interviews. They loved me. And then I secured the job. And I was so happy. Yes, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. Because even before I had found the job, I just kept on envisioning my life here. I just kept on envisioning, like,
So where were your parents in this mix? Were they like, yeah, like...
My dad was thrilled. He was so
Yeah.
excited because, again, he's always been a proponent of, don't forget your roots. My mom as well, too, but my dad has always been more, like, very active with it. Like, he's involved in so many different committees. Again, my mom as well, too, but my dad is kind of like the face of a lot of these committees. My mom was happy, too, but she's a mom. She was worried.
Yeah.
I told her about it when she was visiting my older sister who lives in Texas. I was like, I just got a job in Nigeria. I'm thinking about accepting it. Girl, I ruined her trip because she was worried the whole time. She's like, you're going to move to Africa? Oh, my gosh.
Who's going to be there with you?
Yeah, she was worried because we have a lot of family here, but she's a mom.
Yeah.
She also has not lived in Nigeria since she was in her 20s. She's never lived in Lagos, so...
It's that big, scary, like...
Yeah, her perception of Nigeria is very...
Is someone going to
limited.
kidnap you because you're American?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then call us asking for hostage money down.
Exactly. So my dad, was able to bring her around. And my mom was never like, don't go. She was just naturally worried. So
yeah, as a mom, that's natural. As a mom.
And I'd be here by myself. Like, I have family here, thank God. But
Yeah.
like, I would be coming and settling by myself. So she was worried about that. But she came around eventually. And once I got settled and I showed her how I was living and everything, she was like, oh, okay. Like,
this is a very
feel
safe,
good.
secured environment.
Very safe. Like,
This is safer than anywhere you could live in the States.
Girl, yes. Like, it's like precious cargo or something because the way they interact. And I appreciate it. Because there's people who have never been here in Nigeria, and Nigeria has this reputation of being tough and
you're gonna get
things
kidnapped.
like that. Yeah, they say all these things, but where I am is very safe. Of course, there's little petty crimes here and there, but you can go to Camden, New York City, DC, wherever, some parts of California, and still be victims of other places. So it's like you just got to be safe and you have to be smart.
My car got robbed right before I came here. Somebody broke into my car.
Girl, listen, somebody broke into my car too when I was living in Jersey. I used to live in Trenton.
In my gated community.
Girl,
I was like, this ghetto.
I came on my way to work and my window was open. I never leave my windows open. My door was slightly open because I guess I forgot to lock it. So I'm like, this is weird because normally I click it and so girl, the whole front seat was just a mess. And I'm like,
I cannot.
Call my friend, I'm like, they broke into my car. They're like, what? So
I cannot. I didn't know you did pageants.
So yeah, I did 2 pageants, but yes.
My sister does pageants.
I don't know.
My sister, I don't like go around bragging, but my sister, because you said Miss USA.
Miss Nigeria. USA.
My sister won Miss USA.
Your sister won Miss USA?
Deshauna Barber.
That's your... What?
Girl, that's my big sister, like blood. That's my sister. She'll be here for my wedding.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she'll be here for my wedding. So I'm like a pageant girly. Like I know all the pageant.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So I wouldn't call myself a pageant girl because a pageant girl is like someone who does pageants. Like I did 2 pageants because I was interested in it. It was something to do. And when I did Miss Nigeria USA, the girls that I was competing with, like they do pageants. Like they've been doing
it's a lifestyle.
Girl,
it's a lifestyle.
So I'm coming here like, okay, like let me just, do my little thing. And again, I've always kind of had like an agenda. Like I wanted to use this as a platform to, do my business, reach the masses in Nigeria. So that was what I was kind of thinking about it when I did it.
It's very political.
It can be, yes, it can be very
not political, but there's people who have been waiting and there's turns. So there's anomalies that happen sometimes. But the pageant girlies, girl, that's a whole nother thing. We'll chat about that. Yeah.
It was a good experience though, and it really helped to
meet people and girl, like friendships, I think. Like I feel like I've even made so many friends through my sister doing pageants.
It was great networking. Because the founder, Joy, hey Joy, if you ever watch this, she's so connected. So she did great work with this pageant, allowing me to be able to get connected to people because it helped me to sow that seed that will help me to come back and start my business, because there's people that I still am connected with from that pageant that I've met here, because that pageant was 2015, that was years ago, but there were people that I stayed connected with. So once I came here, I was able to talk to them,
jump right in. So
and
the beauty
helpful.
To beauty, which we'll talk about your wigs in a second.
Yes.
So if you had not been able to come in through Lagos with your international school, what other countries kind of like attracted you, or like tell us about your non-Nigerian experience in Africa?
I think if I didn't come to Nigeria, I considered Dubai. Dubai was high on my list. Ghana was also high on my list. I honestly didn't really have a big pool because I just knew, like, one thing about me, I can be very like stubborn. Like when my mind is set on something, I don't really see other options. Like plan B is very foreign to me because I'm like, this is what it's going to be. And if not, we just going to figure it out. So I had applied to schools in Dubai. I applied to a school in Ghana. They actually called me back in Dubai, but I just felt like, I don't know. I don't want to settle. I kind of want to do what I want to do. So those were the three. I didn't really consider too many others because I didn't really have too much knowledge of other places. But I mean, being in Nigeria now, if I decide that I want to kind of play this thing out a little bit longer, I might maybe consider some other places and stuff. But
have you visited Ghana?
Yes, I visited Ghana April of 2021. Wait, or 2022? Was it April 20? I visited Ghana. Can't remember if it was last year or the year before last, but yes, I visited Ghana. I've been to a handful of African countries. I've been to South Africa, been to Senegal, Morocco, and then Nigeria, of course. And I've laid over in a couple of others, but I don't really count
What
those.
has been your favorite out of South Africa, Senegal, Ghana, Morocco?
I think...
Or give me a rundown of what you love about all.
Yeah, that'll probably be easier. So I'll start with Senegal. I really enjoyed Senegal because they have beautiful beaches. The people are very kind, like just very kind. Right. The food is really good. They have this dish called yassa, which is like caramelized onions. It's like a sauce that they make you eat it with rice. Girl, it's so good. Like I've been dreaming about that since
Senegal is Francophone.
Yes, girl. Let me tell you, we struggled when we went there. My friend and I went in, I think April or March, not too long ago, a couple months ago, and I know very little French. Like I can hold a very basic conversation, but once you start getting into deep French, you lose me. So it was really humbling because that was the first country that I've gone to that English is not one of their official languages. So it was really challenging. But
yeah,
we use Google Translate. We use signals.
Yeah, like you
and
really
stuff.
truly
yeah,
had
we had
to.
Yeah. But of course, there's a couple of international schools in Senegal as well too. So in those spaces, like they use English.
As you get closer to those areas, but for the most part, the general population is speaking French.
But yeah, I loved it. When I went to Senegal, we went to Dakar. We went to a place called Sally. I loved Sally. It was such a beautiful place. Like you could walk everywhere. Just very beautiful tropical place. The people are very friendly. There was a lot to do. Dakar was cool too, but I felt like it was a lot of businessy things. So everything was kind of spaced out. And for me, whenever I travel anywhere, I like to be able to just explore and not have to struggle, walk around. So it was a beautiful place to go.
Is the water like, I don't want to say the water doesn't give here or in Ghana, but is the water giving differently in Senegal?
It's giving in Senegal. The beaches are beautiful. And I think that's one thing. If you ever ask anyone who's been to Senegal, they'll always mention the beaches because it's not like a Turks and Caicos, but like the water is very clear, very blue. The sand is very white. So it's just a beautiful thing to look at. And like we went to this one place called Gorée, which was it used to be a place where they held slaves, and that was like one of the points of no returns. So we took a boat there, and it was just so nice to just see. Like I was putting my hands in the water, and it was really beautiful. So I really loved it. So it was a good place, beautiful culture, beautiful scenery. I think the highlight for me was visiting Sally and going to those different places, eating the good food. When I went to Morocco, the aesthetics just beautiful everywhere.
Morocco is an IG vibe.
Yeah, exactly. It was very IG. My friend and I went there too. Another friend of ours went, and we bought her Canon. We was like, we creating content, so we took some pictures and things like that. I went to Marrakesh. I didn't get a chance to go to other places, but Marrakesh is very beautiful. A lot of like this like pinkish reddish kind of buildings, a lot of like mosaics and things like that. Very beautiful. We stayed in a riad, which is like a traditional kind of hotel that used to be a house, so it was very cozy, but it was beautiful. Very intimate, like it's probably about like 6 rooms or something, but the people are very attentive.
Very like boutique hotel.
Exactly, it was like a boutique hotel. Yeah, so I loved it. When I went to South Africa, I went to Johannesburg. Johannesburg was really nice. Very like city, very fast paced. They drive on the opposite side of the road from like the U.S. or Nigeria and stuff. That was nice as well too. What did I like about that? I think I liked. There was a lot to see, a lot of like tourist attractions. There was like a Mandela Center, Nelson Mandela Center.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of history.
Yeah, a lot of history, yeah. So I enjoyed that as well too. I know when I go back to South Africa, I'd love to go to Cape Town because Cape Town is very beautiful, scenic.
That's where
everyone I saw. Yeah, everyone that I went to, they were like, "Oh, you need to go to Cape Town."
I really want to do like wine country.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it gives. Yeah,
that's my vibe when I go.
When I went to Ghana is very similar to Lagos, but it's like a slower pace. I think when I told you last time we hung out, it's like a fuse of Lagos and Abuja. It kind of has the Lagos vibes, but kind of like the Abuja.
Yeah. So. I would say Lagos is like New York, and Ghana is like LA.
Yes, that's a perfect, LA,
Yeah, very like chilled.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you like to travel with most? Like, are you doing these things as a solo traveler, a girls trip, a vacation vibe?
I've never done a solo trip in the sense that like once I get there, I'm staying there by myself. I always go with someone. I'm open. Like, all I say is all I need is one person. Like, if you're down, we have similar interests. Like, the people that I've traveled with have been people that I've known for a while, and they just like to travel, you know. And I like to also make sure that like our personalities kind of go well, like in the sense that you're flexible, because like even though I'm very like, I think it's the teacher in me, I like to have like an itinerary. I'll plan an itinerary. I like to leave room to kind of just go with the flow.
Yeah.
So I'm open, you know. Like, the last person that I went with when we went to Morocco was a childhood friend. I've known her for like 20 years. The person that I went to when I went to Senegal, I've known her since I've moved to Nigeria. We got really close. When I went to Ghana, another friend that I met in college, I've known her for like over 10 years. So people that I've known well, but again, time isn't a factor. It's just someone that like we vibe well.
Yeah.
You know, so.
As I like matriculate into my lifestyle, I've realized that I have to have someone who's okay like creating content.
Yes, and that's important as well too. Everyone that I went with, we created content. I'm like, I hope you know that we're going to spend time creating content.
I'm going to be creating content.
And they were down for it.
So you can't have people who are like, holding the camera, okay, I took it. And you're like, girl, open your eyes.
I'm going to give the same energy. So when we went to Morocco, like we planned our day. We was like, all right, we're going to spend like 2 hours creating content. But I was like, don't worry, I got you. Like, I'm not going to be like,
I'm not a selfish person. And like, I'll get the pics you never even thought you needed.
Because it's fun. It's fun doing it and receiving.
It is.
So it's fun for me.
So now that like my little husband is my my big husband,
he's been doing good.
I was gonna say, now that we have began to travel, he now understands like kind of what I'm looking for, and he now is starting to expect the good pictures.
I know, that's right. Listen,
like,
I was so impressed at Taco Tuesdays when he took the picture. He was like so focused. I said, okay,
gotta do the 360 panorama on it. Yeah, it has to be fair. And I love those type of trips, you know, or people who realize like if a place just is not the vibe, content wise, we might need to skip that trip.
Let's go.
Yes. So as far as content goes, you do a lot of content for your business.
Yes.
Share what got you into wigs specifically?
So I've been doing wigs since college. I graduated college a while ago. And I started doing wigs, but I started doing it consistently when I noticed that that's kind of like the way things are going. Like, people like to switch things up. So I wanted to create something that will allow people to have the luxury of switching it up at any moment's notice. I also do bridal hair. I haven't been doing it as much since I've moved to the continent, but I'm trying to get back to that because I realized that that's like a niche that has really driven traffic to my brand. So when I was doing brides, I would really push the wigs because, again, brides are pressed for time. So a wig is something easily that you can do. And then also clients that I've had, again, have just wanted that luxury. They don't want to sit in a chair for like 3 hours with a sew-in. They're like, okay, you figure out how you're going to make the wig and then you send the wig to me, and then it lasts a lot longer too. So that's just kind of been my thing. Like, I don't work behind the chair anymore. I still do hair, but like, you know, when I was working behind the chair, I was doing sew-ins, and I remember sometimes clients would come in, they would stay for like 4 hours because you had to wash their hair, blow dry their hair, sew in their hair, only for the wigs, only for the sew-ins to last
3 weeks, maybe
3-4 weeks, because I recommend no more than 6 weeks because you need to let your hair breathe. Whereas you have the wig, you can put it on, you take it off at night, and it lasts so much longer. So you know, I was able to kind of sell that to a lot of my clients who used to wear
Where are you
sew-ins.
Getting these wigs from? Are you importing them from the States? Or are you getting them from like other places?
So I'm importing the hair itself from Vietnam and China. Those are my main sources of hair, and then I'm actually making the wigs by hand.
Wow.
Yeah, so I use a sewing machine. The goal is to have a team. I train them, or I get someone to train them who will use like my
God, I did not know you were hand making these wigs.
Yeah, hand making them. So it's very small. It's my baby, so like I have a small collection at a time.
Handcrafted.
Yeah, so because I find that it's very personalized
to size.
To size, yes.
Okay.
Because I find that like I've tried wigs that are like machine crafted, but like it's just the quality has not been to my taste. Like, not that the quality has been bad, but it's just not been to my taste. So when I'm able to actually do it myself, I'm able to really dictate how the quality is going to be. And in a perfect world, I would like go to Vietnam and set up shop there and then kind of just do my thing. But like for now, I source the hair, I sew the hair with my machine. But later on down the line, I want to just have a very small team that'll kind of just bust out the wigs and things like that. And then I can still have my hand in like the styling and stuff, because styling is like what I love to do. I love the finishing of any kind of look, styling and stuff like that.
You want to be able to take it all the way to the end, not just like you get the wig, but you like the finished product of it. Yeah. Lagos seems like the perfect place for bridal hair because Nigerian weddings are a thing.
Listen. Big, grandiose, very over the top, and I love it. That's everything about us Nigerians. Yeah, girl, I'm ready. Listen, I'm ready because it's fun. And
I was gonna say, because there's so many like beauty, this and this, like kind of what are you doing that would kind of like set you apart, or like kind of what do you have any like innovative or different ideas for like your brick and mortar kind of that would like?
I do. I think one thing that kind of sets me apart is the fact that I have lived in the States and I've also lived in Nigeria. Nigerians love that kind of stuff. They love someone that is cultured, someone that has been able to relate in the American space and also relate in the Nigerian space. So that alone is something that's going to allow people to really trust me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like I'm sad to say I love my Nigerian people. I'm Nigerian, but, you know, sometimes we don't have the best reputation in terms of how we relate with customers. And that's something that I also want to make different when I have my brick and mortar. I want to have a salon that's also going to serve as a space for creatives. So that on days that I may not have a lot of people in the chairs, I can have people coming to create. Like I want my salon to be very beautiful, where people are literally coming to create content, have photo shoots and things like that. So that's my thing. Also for education, because, you know, I don't plan to teach forever. I love teaching, but, you know, it's just a lot. I want to still be able to educate people in those spaces, because I've noticed from the salons that I've gone to, they do good work, but there's still a gap that needs to be filled. And I'm hoping that I can fill those gaps by educating stylists or people who want to be stylists. So it'll be a space for education, content, and just getting your hair slayed. I
don't know what, I can't put my finger on it, but there's a hair gap.
There is. Yeah, it's just, I think because I've identified the gap.
I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, and I think it's just, I know whenever I do my natural hair, the way that they deal with natural hair, there's a handful of salons that do natural hair well, but across the board, that doesn't seem to be something that's prioritized. And I think working for, I used to work for Mazzani. Working for Mazzani really helped me to really hone in on my natural hair care skills. And because a lot of these Lagos babes are wearing wigs, there's not a lot of care that is really taken into consideration for their natural hair, because they're wearing wigs all the time.
Well, I was going to say, but there's that point where you then have to wear a wig.
Exactly, because you're not doing the due diligence to make sure that your natural hair is good.
Yeah, you have no choice but to wear a wig.
And then the weather too, like Lagos is very tropical, like it's hot all the time. Like the coolest that it'll ever get is like maybe like 70 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that, and that's like about 25 degrees Celsius or something like that. I might be a little off, but so in that kind of weather, you'll do your natural hair, you step outside and it's like, so it's kind of like most of the time you'll see babes wearing long hair, whether it's sewing or braids like this, because it's just easier. They don't have the time to spend hours in the salon only for it to last one day.
I love a good, the market that's missing for me is I love a good ponytail.
So yeah, I'm seeing that a little bit more, to be honest.
I have not found the perfect one.
Yeah.
So I've had some people do my pony, but it's just like, I need that hot comb magician.
Yeah.
That I'm missing.
I got a place for you. I'm not going to promote them though, because you know they got to pay for your promotion.
Yeah, you got to pay for that.
But yeah, I got a place for you.
I need that sorcery on that kitchen back here. I'm not really getting that all the way. So those are kind of things that I've been looking for. Otherwise, wigs, what other kind of business opportunities do you see integrating into your brand? Or is that kind of like your niche? Like,
so hair is my niche, education is my niche, but I'm also stepping into the tech space. I'm also hoping in the future to step into the real estate space as well too. I'm not trying to be like a real estate tycoon, but I would love to have maybe like 3 to 4 properties that I can kind of just have some passive income on. I've also wanted to do that in the States as well too. So like, I think in the States I probably have like 1 or 2, because I don't want to be overwhelmed, you know, all in the name of, you know, saying that I'm a entrepreneur, but I do want to have passive income, because I believe in financial freedom. Like I want this to be something that generations to come and benefit from. So, you know, I really want to set that up. So right now I'm focusing on the hair space. I just partnered with some people for in a tech company that I'm actually a co-founder of. I'm a co-founder, but I'm not like the face of the brand, but I have
like
my
an
partner.
investor. Like
yes. Yeah,
and silent investor.
Yeah, I would say maybe even more like silent partner, because I didn't invest monetarily, but I'm kind of investing my intellectual property.
That's an investment.
Yeah, you're right. It's investing.
Girl, we didn't say which type of
Yes, true. So yeah, I'm doing that. It's still in the works and things like that. So I have my hands in a little bit of things that you'll see later on in the future. They're still in the works. So
okay. So you meet, let's say, a case scenario. Mm-hmm. You meet a Nigerian guy. Mm-hmm. You're really feeling him. Mm-hmm. He has a Nigerian passport. He does not have an American or like a British passport. And then he's like, hey, like, I kind of want to go to America and vibe. Are you going back?
I'm open to it.
Okay.
Like, I'm open to it. I don't want to say yes right away, because I've had this conversation multiple times, because people are like, okay, like, you're in Nigeria full time. Like, what happens, if you decide to get married to a Nigerian who wants to go back? I'm just like, I'm open. I would still like the idea of being able to come back and forth. So no matter what, there will always be a presence here. So if, my husband and I decide that, okay, we're going to go to America, the way that things are, usually when someone comes to America, they have to stay for some time before they get situated. But eventually, like, he would be able to come back and forth. So that would always be like the goal. It may not happen immediately, but like, I would be open to coming, getting settled there a little bit, and then being able to come back and forth. So
building that, yeah.
And that's kind of always been like my goal anyway. Like, I want to be able to have a presence here and a presence there. But eventually, at some point, like when I build a family, like, I'm gonna have to definitely settle some more, because I want to be very involved in my kids' lives, and my family's lives. But up until that point,
and
I'm
build
okay.
Stability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but up until that point, I'm okay with doing what needs to be done to make sure that we're solid.
We're happy and all that. I love that.
Yeah.
Traditionally, have you dated mostly like Nigerian men, or like any boyfriend that you've had in your life?
Yeah, for the most part.
Was it mainly like African American, or?
For the most part, they've been Nigerian.
Why is
that?
Just,
I think it's just, I don't want to say it's easier, because it hasn't always been easy, because like the different guys that I've dated, like, some have been very Nigerian and things like that, whereas some have been like maybe like Nigerian American. I just kind of find myself gravitating towards Nigerian
just natural.
African men. I just love African men. Like, they're just so fine.
Yeah.
But like, I've dated African American men. I went on a couple of dates with a man from Saudi Arabia many years ago, and I just always found myself just dating Nigerian men. But I'm not gonna like limit myself.
Yeah.
Like, whoever God has.
You're open to everybody, but you've gravitated towards. Yeah.
Exactly.
You had told me the other day you're half Yoruba, or all Yoruba?
No, full Yoruba. Mm-hmm.
Full
okay. Yoruba. Yes.
What's up, cousin? Yes. I'm pressed. Y'all, I'm not gonna let this go. I'm gonna bring up me being Yoruba every single time.
Hold on, girl. This is before we met. I saw your wedding picture. I was like, wait, she got married and she didn't like tell me she was engaged.
It was so quick. It was.
Yeah.
The wedding is what's everyone's like anticipating.
I know, it's gonna be big.
Yeah, so I really love this. How can my channel and my community support you?
Support me by following me on Instagram, reposting. I realize that not everyone is my target market, so I'm never gonna be like, buy my wigs. Of course, I want you to buy my wigs, and I would love for you to, book me to utilize your service, utilize my services. But at the core, if you can follow me on Instagram, I have two primary Instagrams. My first one is at It's Miss Woo. My second one is at Miss Woo Virgin Hair. If you follow both of those, not only will you see the beautiful wigs that I make, but it's also an opportunity to be educated, because a lot of people just don't know about good quality hair.
Yeah.
And, you can get a little glimpse of my travel escapades and things like that, So it's a good opportunity to learn, to grow with me. I'm very transparent. I'm private, but I'm transparent. So if you ever have questions about certain things, like, I'm open, because I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm not interested in locking the key in terms of allowing someone to be able to grow. I have people who send me DMs all the time about different things, and like, of course, I'm not going to share every single thing, but I'm big on spreading the wealth, because each one teach one, and that's also why I'm here in Nigeria as well too, to be able to also help people who don't have the opportunities and the privileges that I had growing up in the States.
To be schooled and educated on this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned like not gatekeeping, because
I can't stand a
people
gatekeeper.
will
it's
try
so corny.
won't even tell you where they got the shirt from.
Exactly.
Girl.
And in terms of like being a beauty educator or a hairstylist, like, I've been doing this 15 plus years. So like, I can tell somebody, but they're not going to do it the way I do it. And there are millions of people in Lagos alone. So even if I get
Girl.
10,000. I'm good. Like I'm not interested in that. So yeah.
I totally agree. Like I can give you the blueprint, but you can't. I'm gonna give you the blueprint, girl.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's not gonna be the same. One piece of advice I have for you: you need to take your talents to TikTok, though.
People have been telling me that. I think
Girl,
I need to do
TikTok
that.
is where it is
I need
now.
to do that.
Instagram is full of us like millennial grandmas
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah, girl.
I need to do that. People have been saying that.
People would love like, hey, I'm making my own wigs in Legos right today. Let me show you making my wigs.
Okay.
You and your
and
sewing
then they
machine.
said that you can kind of just like drive the traffic there. Yeah, people have been telling me that.
Girl,
and I think it's me just kind of being like afraid of like the overwhelm that might come with another platform.
Pull back from Instagram, and I challenge you for 2 weeks. Push TikTok and pull back from Instagram.
Okay.
And I guarantee you'll be begging your TikTok followers to go to your Instagram. Okay,
we'll see. So I have a social media manager, so we'll have a conversation about that. Me and her can definitely strategize because my biggest thing right now is traffic. So I think that'll be good.
TikTok, unfortunately, that's my biggest platform, and I'm so lazy. I don't know what to do with it, but they just come in flocks. So
that's good.
Let's manifest some flocking.
Yes. All right, TikTok coming soon. I like that. I'm gonna take that challenge on.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put your TikTok under here. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys so much. Legos Chronicles continue. Yes. I'm going out tonight. We're going to Zaza tonight.
Yes, we're going to Zaza tonight. You're gonna love it.
You been? Yeah, I've been.
Okay, so my friend hasn't been, but it's a good vibe. If you're ever in Lagos, Zaza's nice. It's a restaurant, but it's also like a lounge and like a cabaret style. So there's performances, there's food, and then if you're really into the nightlife later on, I'm a grandma, so like by 10 o'clock I'll be tired.
Girl, I'm not trying to go to both sessions.
Yeah, you can.
We'll chat.
We'll figure it out. But yes.